Hello friends, so we're back for another video of Chapter 7, Time, and once again the timestamp for this in the video, The Vision, it's at 6 minutes and 39 seconds. So let's continue. We perceive external stimuli and then we internally process it. When we agree or accept that perception, that is how beliefs are formed in the human brain. Our human consciousness, the ego, is made up of all the beliefs we hold from all the experiences we have encountered since the moment of our birth. And if you believe in multiple lifetimes, we also carry memories from those beliefs as well into our present consciousness, as the past, present, and future are all occurring simultaneously. Collective consciousness is not about a collection of all thoughts. It's about a collection of all essence. We are made up of essence, spiritual matter clothed in physical matter. When you meditate, you release all thoughts. So does that mean that you are no longer consciousness? No, it doesn't. It means that you have released the human part of your consciousness, not the spiritual part, as you can never release the spiritual part of your consciousness. The spiritual part of your consciousness is what is eternal and omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscience. It is your I am presence. So because we are spiritual beings temporarily occupying a human physical vessel, we can understand that we are fundamentally and ultimately consciousness that can alter its very form, and that we truly exist outside of any barriers, outside of time, and outside of limitations. We have nothing that stands between us and the one consciousness, or as some may refer to as the God or Goddess. Time has no bearing on our essence. We as a human collective are currently and definitively evolving out of the time constraints of human consciousness and moving into our natural rhythm and state of beingness. In the simplest example of how the past, present, and future exist simultaneously would be if you were to think of a past event in your life and relive the event in your mind, thinking of how you felt, what you saw, what you heard, and what you experienced. Then, because you are consciousness, you are in this moment living the past. If you were to think of something you would like to see happen in the future, how it would feel to you, what you would like to see, what it would be like to experience it, then because you are consciousness, you are in this moment living in the future. Every motion of energy is an equal exchange. There is no motion of energy that is only a one-way street, even if it feels that way at times. When you pay attention to something, anything, you are giving your energy, which is the cost to it, and in turn it will give back to you in the exact same vibrational frequency, the item. It's just like a transaction that you make at a store. You pay for the item and the item is given to you. Here's where it gets tricky though. If you continue to relive the past in your consciousness or project your consciousness into the future, then you are dismissing and robbing yourself of all of the possibilities that are available to you in the now moment. As your consciousness will either be constantly reliving the only possibility that actually occurred in the past, or you will be focused and sending your conscious energy on the only possibility that you can finitely perceive in your future. You are doing yourself a great injustice by choosing to exist and use your mind in this manner. It is only in the now moment that all possible outcomes are available, which will then attract the highest possible outcome, because when you live in the now moment, you are at your highest vibration, accepting all that is and resisting nothing, and therefore attracting the highest vibrational outcome freely and unrestricted toward yourself. See how simple life now becomes when you understand this concept? As we remember more of who we truly are in our awakening process, we become more and more empowered. So, back to the time conundrum. Humanity has experienced time in a linear fashion, moving from left to right in a progression of accumulation of seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, and so on. This is what we have used to measure our schedules, our experiences, and our lives. Time has been all that our human consciousness has known up until now. We have molded every aspect of our lives around this time illusion and have become its obedient slave. Of course, everything evolves as we continue to learn and expand, and many things that could only be understood in a one-dimensional way throughout the course of humanity evolves as well with us, and we are then able to understand on levels beyond one-dimensional. However, we can never say that it was ridiculous that we did not understand this one thing more or better at any given moment, because we can only understand at the level of collective consciousness that we are at in any given moment. Everything evolves at the pace at which it is meant to evolve at. You cannot rush evolution, not individually and not collectively. All things are at their perfect pace of motion, always. And when the pace of motion accelerates or declines, it is also at its perfect pace. What I was shown in the vision was a very detailed, multi-dimensional display of how time is evolving out of its perceived scientific explanation and human acceptance of it, and into its natural state of being, which is not time at all. It is the direct opposite of time. Time will no longer be measured or projected. It will no longer regulate the cycles of our minds, bodies, or lives. It will no longer determine our capabilities or lack thereof. It will no longer define our progression as humans. In fact, time itself will become obsolete. There won't be any need to even speak of it or think about it. This is a difficult concept to digest, I know. And it's difficult because we have only known time as it is and not as it is not. But that's okay, because that's where we were, and this is now where we are evolving. It may be easier to understand this transition in terms of comparing other scientific discoveries that have evolved over time, and that is in parentheses. Such as, at one time in history, we believed that humans are subject to all the things that occur in their lives, good or bad, that we have absolutely no control over what happens to us, or over what we experience directly or indirectly, that we are powerless and just have to accept our lot that life has dealt us. Thankfully, science has proven that to be incorrect. Scientific discoveries have revealed that we do in fact have every bit of power over our lives. And what we observe and what we give attention to will most definitely have an effect on what we experience. We have come to know this scientific discovery through the slit experiment. Are there any absolutes in science? Probably not. Because as we see, What was once known and understood by man has evolved into what we now know and understand, which is very different. When we dare to think of what's possible, the possible shows up. And this concludes another section of the Chapter 7, Time. I'm sending you all lots of love, lots of light, and lots of activation energy.